I'm Susan Fiorito, and I'm the director of the Moran School of Entrepreneurship. No. So when I got my bachelor's degree from Florida State University, it was in home economics education. So I loved to cook and sew. I got awards in high school I was a FHA president, and home economics was really my love. I made all my clothes, and for my family, I love to cook. But after about 5 years, I had an opportunity to be part of a family-owned business in Atlanta. So I moved up there, and we opened one store, clothing, jeans, and leather goods. And so I helped to manufacture leather goods in the 1970s, and also managed our retail store there, which is jeans. So that was very exciting to me because I was still working with materials and I loved working with people. All through high school, I was a salesperson at JCPenney. So I really liked being in sales and retail. And then, so I did that for 4 years. I established a moneymaker for our business, and that was that I altered jeans for no cost on the spot for all of our customers. So jeans that were long for kids and whatever, rather than them cutting them off. In the 70s, you didn't do that. So I hemmed them on this leather sewing machine, industrial sewing machine. And we put other jean stores out of business because they could not compete with us, even department stores. We didn't reduce our price as a small business, but what we offered the customer was a service that they couldn't get anyplace else. So people are willing to pay for services. And so I learned this as owning the business, part of the business, and we eventually grew to 4 stores. Circumstances were that I left that business and I decided to get a PhD in merchandising because I loved it so much. Went to Oklahoma State and met my husband there, and he had already accepted a job in Iowa, so I moved to Iowa, University of Iowa, got a job there teaching merchandising as a professor. And I thought I would be doing that for the rest of my life. And then they closed my department in Iowa because of the budget problems in the late 1980s. And we both accepted jobs here in 1990 at Florida State University. I was teaching merchandising, and my husband taught management. And I loved it. I loved being a professor. I loved teaching merchandising and retailing, and I had master's students and graduate students, and I thought I would be doing that for the rest of my life. So almost everything I've done, I've really loved and could do that for the rest of my life. And then I got an offer from the dean of the College of Business. They didn't have any women who had been entrepreneurs to teach entrepreneurship. I had been in merchandising for 23 years in the College of Human Sciences, and I thought, well, this might be interesting. So I went over to the College of Business. I started teaching entrepreneurship classes because I used to be an entrepreneur. And then I was asked to be department chair because they didn't have a department chair. So I said, okay, well, that might be interesting. So I did that, and then we got the $100 million grant from Mrs. Moran. And the provost said, Susan, I'd like you to be the director of the Moran School. And I thought, okay, that sounds like fun. I can do that. So I think, no. I've zigzagged my career. Everything, though, I've done, I think has helped me to do a better job in my next job, even though it may be unrelated. So I absolutely love what I'm doing. I have the best faculty on campus. And, I couldn't be happier. Administration, we will be becoming a college this year, so I will be a dean. And administration takes a lot of time. We're building out new undergraduate programs. We're building 2 more graduate programs. We're working with the Mayo Clinic, and we may be doing something on a certificate program, entrepreneurship with them. So there's a lot of little irons in the fire that I need to be involved with. But I have taught for 9 years study abroad courses in the summer. And I did not this past summer, but I will be taking our graduate students to Florence over spring break, and I'll be teaching that class for them. Because of my knowledge, I've already taught in Florence, and it's fun to get back into the classroom and work with students. I miss them. So on a regular basis, no, I'm afraid I can't teach too much anymore, but I love speaking with students, and maybe I'll be able to do a little bit each year that'll make me happy. Well, new tenure track faculty members need to keep their nose to the grindstone and work on their research. Colleges realize this. For tenure track faculty, it's 5 or 6 years, and if they don't produce the research that they need to, that's required by their college and their program, then they won't have a job. So it's really, you've got to do the work. And at each phases, and I'm a full professor, so I've been through that as an assistant professor, an associate professor, and a full professor. And at each of those levels in education and higher education, there's different demands on your time and what you need to do. And for those new faculty members in tenure track, they know the responsibility of having to do research and can leave the service to their department, to their profession, those kind of service activities and committee activities for a little bit later up their career. I do expect my full professors in the school and my associate professors to do much more service, to work on committees, to mentor more, to advise our students more than assistant professors that are protected. Specialized faculty members, where they're being hired to teach, I think they're doing that because they have a love of teaching, and to make sure that they work with other faculty members in their department and use them as mentors and ask questions. Nobody knows. I mean, from all the years that I've been teaching, I've basically been teaching since 1972. And so all of those years, every year, every time I teach, I learn something new. And so I think it's just, you have to listen and observe and ask people questions and know that you're not infallible, that you'll make mistakes, and students think it's okay if you go in and say, oh, you know, I misquoted that, or I don't know that answer, and I'll go and find it. I think students are fine with that. You don't have to be, the total book of knowledge. You can admit that you're a human being, but continue to grow and find those areas where you can surround yourself with good and knowledgeable people. I love my research. I did research with small businesses. That's what I knew for many years. Financial analysis of small business. I did a lot with technology when quick response first came out in the 80s. I did a lot of research with buyers and quick response and barcodes. I really love the retail technology focus. I'm very much into innovation in technology. I love that. I encourage my faculty to incorporate that in our courses. That's very much a part of everybody's lives. But I still have to ask my daughter about how to work my cell phone. So even though I like technology, I'm not really as great at it as young people. But I think, so my research really was, I tried to make it what I was teaching, so that I could always bring that into the classroom. I love Landis. I love sitting in front of the library on one of the shaded benches, and sometimes just getting a hot dog from the hot dog stand there, and a soda, and just sitting outside just watching people and the dogs, playing with the dogs and people jumping in and out of the fountain. And I love being there. Well, I'm involved with a lot of activities, and most of them surround the school, but there's things, because I was Faculty Senate President for 2 years, from 2015 to 2017. As Faculty Senate President, I represented all the faculty on campus to the Board of Trustees and also at the Faculty Senate meetings. So I really have friends all over the entire campus. I am familiar with them. So sometimes I go to the student movie theater. I enjoy that. I go to a lot of the FSU theater productions. I love those. I'm a member of Opening Nights, so I love going to what Opening Nights has to offer. I try to go to at least one opera that the music department hosts, so being very involved at that, all of the opportunities. The art museum here in Fine Arts is fabulous, and I try to go to their exhibits when they're open. There's just so much. You know, I think FSU does a lot of great things in relationship to our CARE program and our Unconquered Scholars, where FSU is helping them with tuition. So here's a group of students, the Unconquered Scholars, who may be homeless. And but we in higher education know how important education is to people's future. And so helping those students to realize their potential. Diversity is critical to the success of the whole world, understanding the importance of different perspectives. And if you've traveled anywhere outside the U.S., you realize we don't always do everything right here in the U.S., that there are different cultures and different people all over the world that may do things better than us. And so learning about that, appreciating various cultures and what they can do to enrich your life and how you can enrich other lives. That's really what this world is like. It's shrinking. And if we don't reach out and make our relationships and lives more diverse and encourage diversity in every single way, and it's not just race or ethnic, but religion and politics, we're not going to be a very healthy world. So we need to make sure that we can work with all kinds of different people. That's what's going to make us all healthy. Well, I worked all the way through college, and I'm one of 7 children, so my parents couldn't help me at all, so I borrowed money and then worked. And I worked, JCPenney used to be downtown, right near Nick's Toggery. There was a JCPenney down there. So I would walk from the apartments where Dewey and Call right over here, right behind McDonald's apartments. I lived there. And I would walk downtown to work 4 days a week and then walk back. And walking to work, I really enjoyed not only walking through campus, but also, it was just a time that I was kind of by myself, and most of the time I was very, very busy with school and work, but that time just walking back and forth, I just really enjoyed it. And I could then kind of take the time to appreciate how lucky I was to be going to college. I was the first in my family of my siblings to go to college. My mom had graduated from college. And that I was able to pay to be at such a great university at that time. I graduated in '73. It was just a wonderful experience. I loved FSU. I love being around campus. And it's nowhere as beautiful as it is now. I mean, now campus is just magnificent. But I just had a very happy life, I think. I just enjoyed myself. I think one of the most important things about our school, the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship, is that we are very interdisciplinary. We have 6 minors now: commercial, social, hospitality, computational, science, retail, and we're starting one in Spanish, a minor in entrepreneurship, and a minor in linguistics in entrepreneurship. I love being across campus, and I have faculty and department chairs. I'm working with engineering for our graduate program. I'm working with hospitality for another graduate program. So we're continually partnering with all of with so many of the departments across campus. That's what I love. And FSU wants that. They want interdisciplinary programs. They want our students to be able to reach out to different areas and to learn from those and not be siloed and not be just in one little box. And I think FSU tries very hard to make opportunities available to students so that they can enrich their lives through all of the things here on campus that are available to them. And our school strongly supports that.